This is Lesson 108 in Saxon's 3rd edition Algebra 1 book, and we're gonna just review quickly what a square root is, and then we're going to talk about radical equations and how to solve those. Radical means it has the square root sign somewhere in it. Alright, so we remember that a square root, let's say 4. The square root of 4 is equal to 2. And if I were to square this, the square root of 4 times the square root of 4, well, the square root of 4 is 2 times 2, which is 4, is also equal to 2 squared, which is 4. Same thing if I have 16. The square root of 16 is 4. If I square that, the square root of 16, which is 4, times 4, which is 16, is equal to 4 squared, which is 16. So what I can see from this is that, and by definition, x has to be greater than a 0. But what I can see is if I have the square root of 7, for instance, which doesn't have a perfect square root, but I square that, the answer is actually going to be 7. Just like here, the square root of 4 squared is also 2 squared. Alright, the square root of 4 is 2, and 2 times 2 is what you had to start with, 4. So when you square any square root number or radical, you're going to get the number that's inside the radical. The square root of 17 squared is going to equal 17. So basically what you've done is you have found a way to get rid of this radical sign right here. Alright, so we're going to need to keep that in mind as we go through this lesson. We're going to be using that idea. Alright, in this one we see it says solve the square root of x minus 2 minus 6 is equal to 0. So again, let's isolate that radical by moving the 6, and we get the square root of x minus 2 equals 6. Alright, if we square both sides, then we're going to get x minus 2 equals 36. When I add 2 to both sides, I'm going to see x is equal to 38. But now I have to check that. That satisfies the second equation, but does it satisfy the original equation? So I'm going to put 38 in for x. 38, square root of 38 minus 2 equals, minus 6 is equal to 0. Alright, 38 minus 2 is 36. So the square root of 36 minus 6 equals 0. And we know the square root of 36 is 6. And 6 minus 6 does equal 0. So we can say that the solution to this is 38. And that is a true solution. Let's do another. This says solve the square root of x squared plus 9 minus 5 equals 0. Again, the first thing we're going to do is move this 5, and we get the square root of x squared plus 9 equals 5. Alright, so when we square both of these things, we're going to get x squared plus 9 equals 25. Alright, and then we subtract 9 from both sides, and 25 minus 9 is going to be 16. So x squared is equal to 16. And if we factor this, we know that x squared minus 16 equals 0. We can move this 16 back over here and do x squared minus 16 equals 0. Again, something you've learned to do before. We can factor this x minus 4, x plus 4, because x squared minus 16 is a perfect square. So in this case, we're going to have two solutions because both 4 and negative 4 satisfy this equation. If I put x squared, if I put 4 squared plus 9, that would be 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, and 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. So I know that positive 4 works. Let's try negative 4. Negative 4 squared is still 16, and 16 plus 9 is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, and 5 minus 5 does equal 0. So in this, we can say that our solutions set is 4 and negative 4. So we have two solutions. So in our first example, we had no solution. In the second example, we had exactly one solution. In this example, because we had a perfect square, we have two possible solutions. Okay, this one looks a little different as well. So we're going to isolate this radical by moving the 3 and the x to the other side. And we're going to get the square root of x minus 1 is equal to 3 minus x. Okay, if I square both of these, I'm going to get rid of the radical sign here, and I'm going to have x minus 1 equals 3 squared is 9 minus x squared. And then because I really need to use FOIL here to square this, to multiply this, so when I use my FOIL, I'm going to find that I do get this first term and I do get this last term, but I also have two middle terms and I need to combine those for 6x, so minus 6x. Let's put that more in correct form. X minus 1 equals x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now let's do a little bit more here. We're going to subtract x from both sides. And we're going to get rid of this. And we're going to have negative 1 equals x squared minus 7x plus 9. And then I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And I'm going to get 0 equals x squared minus 7x plus 10. Then I factor this number, and I'm going to find that x is equal to Let's see, 5 and 2, negative 5 and negative 2. So then I don't have room on this page. We're going to go to the next page. And then we're going to see, we have to check both of these answers, because if these equal 0, then our answer would be positive 5 and positive 2. So we're going to have to... Okay, so here we're going to try our two answers of 2 and 5. And we'll start with 2. The square root of 2 minus 1 minus 3 plus 2 equals 0. Let's see if that works out. 2 minus 1 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1 minus 3 plus 2. 1 minus 3 is negative 2 plus 2 does indeed equal 0. So 2 is definitely going to be a solution. Alright, let's try 5. 5, square root of 5 minus 1 minus 3 plus 5 equals 0. Let's see if it does. 5 minus 1 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And negative 1 plus 5 is 4. And 4 does not equal 0. So our only solution can be 2. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll do our two practice problems. Okay, so the square root of 2x minus 3 equals the square root of x plus 2. Well, the first thing we're going to need to do is put each one of these in parentheses and square them. And when I do that, I get rid of the radical sign, so I have 2x minus 3 equals x plus 2. Then I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I've eliminated the middle terms. 2x minus x equals x. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So, we put 5 back into the original equation and see if it is indeed a solution. The square root of 2 times 5 minus 3 equals the square root of 5 plus 2. Well, 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 minus 3 is 7. So here on the left we have square root of 7, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So the square root of 2 equals, the square root of 7 does equal the square root of 7. So 5 is indeed the solution. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is isolate the radical by moving this 3 to the next side. We've gotten rid of that. The square root of x minus 6 equals 3. Now I'm going to square both of these terms. I've gotten rid of the radical sign. Now I just have x minus 6 equals 3 squared is 9. If I add 6 to both sides, I'm going to have x is equal to 15. So let's put that in the equation, the original equation. The square root of 15 minus 6 minus 3 equals 0. Well, 15 minus 6 is 9. So this is saying the square root of 9 minus 3 equals 0. Well, the square root of 9 is 3, and 3 minus 3 does equal 0. So x is 15. 15 is our answer to this problem. Okay, here we have a little bit more complicated, but it's okay. We're going to first isolate this radical over here. Plus 6 minus x. So I've gotten rid of both of those, and I have the square root of x minus 6 equals 6 minus x. Okay? No. Yes, that's right. All right, now I want to square both of these. And when I do, I'm going to get rid of the radical sign here, and I have x minus 6 equals, and here I'm going to FOIL this. 6 minus x times 6 minus x would be, 6 times 6 is 36, negative 6x, negative 6x, and x squared. Alright, so I have equals x squared minus 12x plus 36. Okay, so what I've done is here I had to FOIL that. I did that here, and then I factored, and I got x minus 6 times x minus 6. So if x minus 6 equals 0, then the only answer could be 6, positive 6. So let's put that in the original equation. The square root of 6 minus 6 minus 6 plus 6 equals 0. Well, 6 minus 6 is 0, so you've got 0 here, minus 6 plus 6 equals 0. 6 minus 6, 0, does indeed equal 0. So 6 is the answer to the entire problem. I know that kind can seem a little confusing. When you have one, I want you to just refer back in your book. It's actually like example 108.4, and just follow step by step what they've done. Okay, good job. I'll see you back next time for lesson 109.